What is going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. This week we have some interesting news that has arisen from Yamaha, and I'm sure you've probably already seen the news, but I'm going to go into detail on exactly what's going on, what's happening, and what you can expect to see from the discontinued models, what Yamaha has talked about. Before we go into the video, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone that's been subscribing, commenting, liking my videos. I know I say this a lot, but the growth is massive on this channel, and the support what I've been getting really inspiring me to go on and make more videos just like this one. So let's get straight into the video. Right then, before we get into it, I'm going to start with a statement from Yamaha themselves, so you can get the word from the horse's mouth, and it goes a little something like this. With deep consideration of evolving global market trends and regulation that limit production volumes on certain models, the following will be discontinued after model year 2020. The YZF R6, the VMAX and the WR250R. And I've also heard that maybe the S-Max is getting discontinued as well, but we don't care about that, because that is possibly the shittest motorbike I've ever seen, if you can even class it as a motorbike. Now there's two in particular that stand out on this list for me. However, all three of these bikes, because we've forgotten about the S-Max, all three of these bikes are important bikes in their field. They're pioneers, they're top of the class. They are all the best at something for one reason or another. Going into the R6, it's for long by many been renowned as the best 600 sports bike you can get on the market. The VMAX, that's just one to its own. You've never seen a bike like it. It's a V4. It's a big, torquey motorcycle. Of course, you've got bikes that are similar to it, but nothing's quite done it like they have done it. It's the motorbike take on an American muscle car. That's the idea of this bike. And the WR250R is renowned by many. It's one of the better road-legal off-road bikes that you can purchase. Absolutely perfect for green laning. There's massive communities built just on owning a WR250R. So for each one of these three bikes, it's a big shock to the community what are about these bikes. No one could have expected this coming, and we're going to go into why they've happened like this and what's going on behind closed doors at Yamaha, or what we can gauge what's going on from the stuff what's been released by Yamaha up until now. So going into it, we're going to start off on the VMAX. I actually own one of these VMAXs. I've not owned it very long. I got a Gen 1 VMAX, and let me tell you, it's unruly. The VMAX started off, it was originally the V-Max. Later on, it became the VMAX all in capital letters. Or if you're German, the WMAX, which is ironic because a little bit of wee comes out when you ride these things. These bikes are insane. There's nothing like them on the market, absolutely nothing. It's like sports bike power on a chopper style riding position. They're unrivaled. They're one to their own. You can't find a bike that is like it or similar. You can maybe get one that looks similar, maybe get one that's got a similar engine displacement, but you never get one that looks similar with the same engine displacement or engine layout. These things sound insane, they're crazy to ride, and it's going to be a genuine loss to the market of this sort of bike. They started off in 1985, they're all over the world, Europe, America, up until the current Gen 2 model, which is basically just a bigger version of the first one, not that it needed making any bigger. Again, like the first one, a little more crazy, a little more up to date with tech, but still as crazy as the last one. Then rolling straight off into the YZF R6. This bike again, it was a pioneer, it was the first of many. It was one of the first 600cc motorcycles to become widely available at an affordable price range to the general public. This bike came out in 1999, and it's been a head turner for everyone on the biker scene ever since. Each generation of this bike has got a little bit faster, a little bit better, and it's, for some, it's been the perfect starter bike for sports bikes, and others would disagree that this is far too quick for a starter sports bike. It's a very, very quick bike, perfect for a track bike or a road-going track day bike, and possibly one of the most popular Yamahas that's ever been sold. I haven't got facts on that, but it's quite difficult to get Yamaha sales facts. I did try to get them for this video, but it's quite difficult to get because I wanted to see the sale numbers in different countries. And then finally rolling into the WR250R, again, if you look for forums on these bikes, they've got massive cult following. People love them, people buy them over and over again. There's massive modifying scenes to them. And like I said on the past two, with the WR250R, the owners of these bikes consider these bikes to be the best in their field. The WR250R is affordable, it's unbreakable. Someone's probably going to correct me on that and tell me you've broken it, but you know what I mean. It's difficult to break, it just runs forever. If you've got some sort of job that requires an off-road ability, this is probably going to be the bike of choice. If you're just a hobbyist that wants that off-road ability, again, probably going to be the bike of choice. There's not much better that you can get for the money than a WR250R. If, like me, you're listening to this news and you're thinking, well, what's gone on? You've got three great bikes and 3 discontinues. The Yamaha range is massive, and there's all sorts of crap bikes in the Yamaha range, and they could have got rid of any of them. but they got rid of these three. Now I don't quite have the answer for you there. However, there are some inklings as to what's gone on from the current news and situation of new regulations that are coming in. So as of 2021, as of the 1st of January 2021, all bikes in the European Union will be subject to Euro 5 regulations. So going in the past, a lot of these bikes were all Euro 4. So now this new rules come in where they have to be Euro 5. That's probably taken Yamaha by surprise a little bit. A lot of these engines are either small engines that are pushed to the absolute limit to get the power out, or just a big crazy lump, the VMAX, that is not very efficient. Now of course Yamaha have methods in place to get the economy up, and they are doing that to a lot of the range of bikes what they sell at the moment. But for some reason they've decided not to go along with it for these three. Now I have my own ideas on what might be going on with these. However, it's nothing that's factual. It's just my thought process on what's going on with other manufacturers and other bikes at the moment. So moving on into the future, we are looking at electric motorcycles becoming a thing. Whether you like to accept it or not, it's going to happen eventually. Now we've got three bikes here that are prime for being an electric motorcycle candidate. So we've got the smaller 600cc Yamaha R6. It's prime for a nice electric motor and to get long range and still have that power delivery, or even better power delivery, what you're used to. Again, the WR250R, a popular bike, and if it was to be given an electric motor, it would be even more popular. You still get the range what you want. You're rarely going to cover more than 100 miles in a day on a WR250R. So the fact that you could charge your motorcycle at your garage at home, get it out at the weekend, and then use it, and put it back on charge, and it's good to go next weekend, it's quite an appealing thing. And again with the VMAX, slap a big old ugly electric motor on that, put some batteries on it, you've got the delivery what you wanted. You've got the straight line power, that instant torque, that instant power. And that is what makes me think that this is making way for the new electric motorcycles. These three bikes are all pioneers in their own art. And moving forward from that, Yamaha do have a bit of catching up to do. Harley Davidson are already pushing out production models of the electric motorcycle. And who would have expected it? The Harley Davidson, the loud in-your-face motorcycle that you hear before you see, is now quiet, silent. But they're already pushing them out. It's where it's going. And I know what you're thinking. I'm a petrol head, and I will never have anything that doesn't make the sound of an inline 4 engine. Now be gone, because I'm sure that when we moved from horse and cart to motorcycles, there were people going, I don't like the idea that my motorcycle doesn't shit on the road. It's the future, it's coming, embrace it. If you're really interested in sounding loud, then you can get a speaker and play a motorcycle noise. But this is what's happening, and I am excited. So moving back to the Yamaha R6, another thing that seems to reinforce the point that these changes are subject to the emissions laws is that they're still going to continue producing the R6, but they're only going to continue doing it in track form. You can still buy a new R6 after 2020, but it will be a track going version. And that's also going to be subject to some upgrades that you can do from the factory. And I'm just going to put a list of them up here, but by the sounds of it, they're making them so that you can buy the bike bog standard and you can put your own mods on, or you can get the modification straight from Yamaha yourself and just get this prime 600cc race bike straight from the factory. But just a few of them are a race cowling set, an ECU set, seat cushion or probably lack of seat cushion, sprockets more suitable for racing. This is going to go forward into being a prime track-bred motorcycle, which you've always been able to purchase, don't get me wrong. And the reason they're continuing to do that is because they're not subject to the emissions laws that have come in if the bike's used off the road. So yes, to confirm, it is a sorry loss that we are going to lose these beautiful motorbikes, because all three of them, within their rights, are some of the best motorbikes that have ever been made. And like I say, I own one, and I would at the drop of the hat own the other two. And whether you're just into one style of bike, or you're into all three of these styles of bikes, I'm sure you can appreciate the value on some of these bikes. But it's not the end. It is paving way for the future, and I for one think it's going to be glorious. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I will catch you in the next video.